Hey guys, here we go into a video. We fight how we train with Manny Pacquiao versus Yordenis Ugas. And this is a clip that I brought up at the beginning of camp. It was his first training camp footage when he was scheduled to be fighting Spence. And I brought up the idea that he was not finishing his weight transitions from the front foot to the back foot with either his pendulum step, his hook here, his pendulum hook, or his regular hooks here, boom, boom, and now he's going to bring his weight to the back foot or throw his hook, but he doesn't get his heel back, right? He doesn't bring this shoulder back. He doesn't get this heel up. He's not on the ball of this foot's not pointing this direction, and he doesn't have his head on his back foot, heel, knee, head, right? So he's throwing this hook, and it's more of an arm punch, and he's not really getting his weight into it. But worse, he's throwing it from a position, right, that's going to keep him on the line with his opponent, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit about that and a little bit about how, in spite of the fact that he didn't eat a lot of punches because of this technique, it actually stopped him from having more opportunities for offense against Yordenis Ugas, okay? So the first thing I want you to point out is when he gets into the position on the front foot, boom, this position is the same position that he throws that right hook from, and it's the same position he initiates his pendulum step from, okay? Pendulum step is when he gets the weight to the front foot, and now, from this position, you're going to be kind of making a squat jump, right, and shuffling. It's like a, if you've ever done side straddle hops, but you're going to start in a position where your heel, knee, head is here, and then when you finish, you should be in a position where your heel, knee, head in a similar position, but the opposite on the other side of your body. And you use this move to close the distance against an opponent who is retreating, okay? Now, because Manny Pacquiao doesn't actually shift his weight from the front foot to the back foot, he doesn't actually have the opportunity to pendulum step and close very much distance, okay? He's shortcutting the pendulum step because he's not bringing his weight to the back foot, because he's focused more on punching than he is body mechanics and learning this very, very, I'll say expert level piece of movement, but it's something that everyone should be learning in the first, 2 months of their training. And I'll be having a shadowboxing video come out on it in the next week, so check it out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, especially for more videos like this. Now, that same position, front foot, boom, boom, here's the position he would pendulum step from like he did with the hook, and this time he's just throwing the hook and exhibiting the same exact body mechanics, okay? Now, this is a fight, or this is a clip a few weeks before the Spence fight, when that was still supposed to be scheduled, and still having the same mechanical errors present, okay? He's not getting his back heel to the ground, he's not moving his head, he's not transferring his weight to the back foot, and most of his primary focus is on getting to the line and throwing punches. Boom, boom, boom. Again, that was not very effective for him against Ugas, because by the time he starts throwing punches, Ugas is pendulum stepping off of the line away from him, right? And Manny Pacquiao is so focused on getting to the line to throw punches. Now, when you see Manny Pacquiao, again, a few weeks out from camp, he's not getting his head off the line, he's not getting this heel up, he's not on the ball of this back foot, and he's not transferring his weight to the back foot, it's not a good look for him, okay? And it's one of those habits that it looks like he brought with him the whole time. Now, we're going to take a look at this clip, and I want you guys to think about how that idea is very similar, okay? Because we've noticed that he's not trying to bring his weight to the back foot at all when he punches. So when he has a hyper, I'll say propensity to throw a more powerful punch, but he has no idea to bring his weight from the front foot back to the back foot, when he throws his most powerful punches, he's going to be falling off balance, okay? Because there's not even a thought in his mind about transferring his weight back to the back foot. So all of the focus is on bringing his weight forward. And again, because he doesn't transfer his weight back this way and point his foot this way, his foot is always pointed the same direction. When he misses those punches, his weight flies forward. Again, even when he's making contact here, you can see his back leg shifting and moving forward, boom, boom, and he's taking a step. Again, bop, and then taking that small step there as he kind of jerks himself off the line. We're just going to watch these clips one more time. But again, his back leg is off the ground and his weight is transferring forward. Again, he gets more of like a gazelle-type punch with his leg moving forward. Now, we're going to take a look again at how he does that here in this clip. Boom, 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 boom. And then the uppercut. Now look at his back leg again. Look at how his leg comes up off the ground. Again, he has no intention of bringing his weight from the front foot to the back foot. So all his weight is driving forward, right? Constantly. And he has the pads to catch him, right? Now, another thing I want to point out real quick. This position here is the same position that he would be in if he was throwing his hard straight left hand, right? This position is the same position he's throwing his hard straight left hand in, right? His head never moves. He throws the combination, and then he takes a step, boom, boom. Just want to talk about something a little bit interesting, right? And this is one of the reasons why Yordenis Ugas was not able to capitalize on this body mechanic or this poor error so much, because of the fact that Manny Pacquiao can throw a big 1-2, right? It can be a big 1-2, or it can be a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, or it can be a 1 uppercut, right? It is a lot of variation, right? And he has a lot of craft in this position, right? But because he spends so much time training in this position and fighting on the line with his opponent, when his opponent is able to step off the line, he doesn't have the ability to chase them, right? And because of the fact that you need a very solid position 1 and a very solid position 2 to actually use the pendulum step efficiently, Manny Pacquiao had a very, very difficult time chasing Yordenis Ugas around. Now, we're going to take a look at the last clip. And actually, I'm going to save this one kind of a bonus because it's only vaguely similar, but I'll show it real quick. Throwing those punches. And we're going to be talking, actually, this is the clip that's responsible for him for getting hit with all his jabs, okay? Now, we're going to be taking a look at this a little bit more in depth on Patreon. If you guys want the full fight film study, it's $10 to sign up, $10 a month. And you'll get access to, nearly 500 film studies, training utilities, tons and tons and tons of drills. There's coaching from some of my fighters, from their sparring, from their matches. There's all the stuff that you need to learn how to use the pendulum step correctly in hundreds of videos. And it's only $10 to access the library, and then $10 a month to continue having access. So check it out. We will be doing a full Manny Pacquiao film study, and there's Canelo film studies, and Golovkin, and Lomachenko, and Teofimo Lopez, and hundreds and hundreds of film studies. So check it out. It's a really, really awesome utility. Now, we're going to be taking a look at it on Patreon because he's getting his weight to the front foot. Boom, jab, 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 and his head doesn't move for any of those positions. So when he got on the line with Ugas and he would throw a jab and his head didn't move after, Ugas was easily able to counter him, right? Again, Ugas had phenomenal control of the line, and that meant that when Pacquiao would enter the line with that jab, there was no way it was going to land because Ugas could see it coming, and then he was easily able to counter because Manny Pacquiao's hands are down and his head is in the wrong position, and he can't actually get away from it. But all those punches, and he throws his straight left hand, and watch his back leg, boom, it's not on the ground and it's dragging forward. All right, now we're going to start taking a look at some clips from the fight. We're going to be taking a look at these similar things, okay? So here's going to give 1, 2, and he shoots that shot, and look at his back leg coming forward and how he has to control the space with more punches, okay? Very, very, very awkward body mechanics. He gets here, and now he has to throw the jab to open up that space to stop him from being able to be countered, okay? And again, Manny Pacquiao gets away with this against smaller fighters because if they stay in range to try to counter him and his poor body mechanics, they're going to get hit with all those follow-up punches. Now, Manny Pacquiao is also stressing his technique a little bit because Ugas is bigger than him, so he has to try a little bit harder. He has to use a little bit more energy. His body mechanics have to be a little bit better. But all that stuff is not happening because of the way that he trains. Again, and you can see his head in the same position, boom, 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 for all of those punches, including the pendulum step that gets him to that position, boom, boom. And here, he's going to pendulum step, boom. And his head is in the same exact position as it was when he was throwing the hook in the video. Okay, now we're going to take a look at here. Here he is throwing that straight left hand, and then he falls off balance, and he has to open up space with the cross. He misses, and Ugas is going to cross his line now because he leaves his head on the line, and he hits him with a right hand right here. Now he's going to hit him with a left hand, and then hit him with a right hand there too. Again, because he gets his head in that same position with that hook, just like this video. Literally exactly the same. Same exact punch, and then he gets hit with a 3-piece combo from Ugas. Okay? So, not having proper body mechanics stopped him from being able to have the ability to actually chase his opponent down, right? And again, look at what happens when he misses and he has no ability to bring his weight from the front foot to the back foot. He misses this punch, and now he's forced to gazelle step forward, and Ugas is able to get away from all those punches and kind of land a body shot. It's not important, the body shot. It doesn't really matter that much. But the idea is Pacquiao is forced to make a positional change because of the fact that he doesn't train to bring his weight from the front foot to the back foot, right? Again, a very, very common thing for a fighter to practice. Now, here he is shooting a lead left hand and then being in the same position on the other side of the line, right? He still pendulum steps, right? But then he throws an uppercut and a left hand, and even though he lands one of these punches, he doesn't actually have the opportunity to change angles against Ugas because Ugas expects him to be there. He knows that he's going to be on the outside there because he just slipped there. And Pacquiao doesn't bring his weight back to the back foot and cross the line when he makes this little pendulum step. So he doesn't actually have the opportunity to land a big power punch to cross the line again. All arm punches. In spite of the fact that you don't want to really get hit by an arm punch by Manny Pacquiao, he is a pretty solid puncher. You have to be more than a solid puncher against someone who's so much bigger than you. Okay? Now, here he is again using the same move. Now, he gets to the front foot, boom. If he were, because the jab is going to come, right? If he were to get his head to the other side of this jab when he pendulum steps and get his weight to the back foot, right? Now, his back foot is going to take the place of his front foot, right? Very similar, but Pacquiao's on the wrong side of the jab, okay? He should be on the other side. That way, if he was on the back foot, when Ugas gets into this position and drags his weight forward, Pacquiao's back here. Now with his next weight transition, instead of jumping off the line here, his weight would be back here. He would be able to transfer his weight forward into a straight left hand or into a powerful left hand to the body or into a left hand over the top, right? But because Pacquiao is already across the line, he can't even see where his target is, right? Again, another one of the problems with not transferring your weight to the back foot when you pendulum step, right? Or when you throw your hook, rather. Again, because we fight how we train, right? And here he is, very, very similar hook motion. He's controlling the line. Anyway, next clip. I'm going to take a look at a few more. Boom. Here he is throwing that uppercut, right? Remember the uppercut I showed where he threw it and then his leg came off the ground? Here he is, not really having to pay for the mistake. Boom. Uppercut. Look at his back leg come off the ground, right? Completely off the ground. And look at him throw his extra punches to control the space between him and Ugas, right? This is the only reason Pacquiao didn't really have to pay for it, because he's filling the void in front of him with punches, right? And it's making Ugas hesitant to counter, right? Boom, boom. Now Pacquiao's open. Now he's going to throw the right into another controlling right as he gets back on the ground, right? A lot of really great craft there from Pacquiao, understanding how to protect that very, very vulnerable pendulum of his, right? Because he knows he's been forced into it so many times. But, what is this clip? Oh, that's not the right one. Is this the right one? Ah, yes, this one. Now, this is not a new problem, okay? This is something that Pacquiao has had a problem with even in the best of his fights. But when your opponents aren't all that much bigger than you and they're the same size as you and you're so fast, you know, you get away with a lot more, right? It's so much more difficult to be on the line with you, right? Which, again, is why all those young guys are ducking Gary Russell Jr., because nobody can sit on the line with that guy, and young fighters don't have head movement. And what beats anyone who doesn't have head movement? Well, big, big, big punches or really, really, really fast punches, right? All ways to most exploit the line, right? So anyway, as we can see in these clips, the fact that Manny Pacquiao doesn't ever practice getting his weight to the back foot when he throws his hook and doesn't actually change positions, he spends all his time fighting on the front foot, he doesn't actually have access to the correct kind of pendulum step to take advantage of the positioning or the poor pendulum steps of Yordenis Ugas as he moves off the line himself. Okay, we're going to take a look at him here. Look at Ugas take a small step off the line, right? But does he look like he's in a position to defend himself when he gets there? Not really. So if Manny Pacquiao had a little bit better of a pendulum step, maybe he could take advantage of the poor positioning of Ugas, right? Or at least have a better shot at doing so, right? here, being able to get to the outside, right? An angle on the outside instead of being forced to gazelle step into his line, right? And then being tied up or, squaring up and then finding himself eating a punch here, right? Anyway, if you guys are interested, again, don't forget to check out my Patreon. It's $10 to sign up, $10 a month. If you want full fight film studies, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. Or if you're looking to learn to do this kind of stuff, you're looking to learn pendulum boxing, I have a number of Vimeo packages. I have Vimeo packages to teach you guys how to hit the pads, to teach you how to not only hit the pads no matter who's holding them for you, but for you to learn the rules of the pad holder so you can coach them and tell them how they're supposed to do it, right? Or you can learn to do it yourself, right? But all of those things are going to all help you learn and understand more about boxing and boxing fundamentals. And then if you're interested in learning shadow boxing, learning how to use the pendulum step, learning how to throw all the punches in boxing from a very, very, very easy linear progression to learn your first boxing, shadow boxing routine, check out my shadow boxing Vimeo package. It's $149.99. And it'll teach you how to throw all your first punches. It'll teach you how to pendulum step. It'll teach you the mechanics of all of these things so that you don't have to make simple mistakes in the biggest fights of your life or even the smallest.